Tonight we got a couple great speakers, and so hurry up. We'll get through beginning of our agenda so we can turn it over to them. So why don't we stay? Roll call. Let's do a roll call first.
Smith?
Here.
Cardin is here. McKay?
Yep.
McCardle is not here. Mitchell?
Here.
And Blakely.
Perfect. All right. Go ahead. Everybody stand for the pledge.
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any public comments before we get going? All right. See.
Well, I know we have a public, Kern County public folks here.
Yeah.
And I want to praise these guys here because they are just wonderful. I call them up, they just come and do all the stuff I ask them to and check everything out. I just really appreciate them, and we all should have their phone numbers. They're just wonderful. Public works, wonderful.
Perfect. All right. Our community leader reports. Why don't you start with the Kern County Sheriffs?
Good evening, Senior Deputy Pollock with East Kern. I'm accompanied here by Sergeant Jones, who also works out here. See, stats for last month, March, has gone down. February we were at 442. March we had 400 calls for service. Compare that with Mojave, they also stayed almost the exact same at 351. So that's the stats on total calls, and it's ranging. Majority of the calls, we're gonna have 40 calls related to peace disturbances. We had 19 audible alarms, 25 trespassing calls, and 45 times we've had to call someone that wanted to talk to us about something. Assisted CHP 17 times. Checked the welfare 27 times. And several patrol checks. Looks like more of the violent crimes have gone down. They're still between 1 and 5 as far as assaults, batteries, and charges like that.
One of the things I know was blowing up social media last week was a bullet that got fired through a residence.
Yeah.
So I do know, without going into great detail, there is another detective that's working on, there's a constant complaint of negligent discharge of firearms that was occurring quite a bit right over here on the south side of Roseman Boulevard, and it's moved because I believe someone occupied a building and there's construction going on. So it's kind of deterred the shooting that's been going on in that area, and no one's been giving us much information on it. It's constant but sporadic, so there's no way of like knowing when it's going to happen, but it's been consistent as far as a constant issue. So it's moved on the north side. So yesterday there was 3 or 4 deputies that were kind of casing and staging in the areas and didn't get much. We have a few leads that we're working, but very little video evidence of it occurring.
So we can get the word out. Is there any out in the desert out there? Is there any legal shooting out there, or is it all off limits?
You mean in the desert?
In the desert.
As far as the legality of shooting?
Yeah, legality.
There's county ordinances that dictates as far as proximity to roadways, being within a roadway, definitely can't be shooting over a roadway, being within proximity of a residential dwelling, I think it's like 1,000 yards. And so the county ordinances dictates that based off the zoning.
What we're seeing right now is a lot of people are shooting on private property, which we can't do anything about. Absolutely nothing.
Right.
Unless something happens, if there's a crime involved, then we can actually go out and do something.
You know, there's a lot of good people out there that are careful when they go out there and shoot, and then we have the idiots that.
That's usually on the holidays and the weekend, yeah, that's when they get nuts and get crazy, yeah. And if that happens, obviously, call us and we'll go out there and try to run them off the best we can. Ultimate goal would be probably putting signs out, having the county put signs out that you can't shoot in these areas that are around houses,
Okay.
especially within the limits, because some of these guns travel miles, and especially in this wind, so you can't obviously cordon off all of the desert,
No.
and that's never gonna happen, but they've been shooting out here since I've been out here in 2011, so,
Yeah.
you know, and
It's
I've never seen a sign go up yet, so I don't know what the county wants to do with that.
First been 4 years old right over here.
Yeah,
Yeah, the concern was the shooting that's been occurring within, 100 yards of that, mobile home trailer park there. And then probably the same distance from the residential places on the north side of, Roseman Boulevard. So
Thank you.
there are units working on that.
I appreciate that, thank you. All right, now over to Highway Patrol. Oscar.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aaron Maurer with the CHP out of Mojave. Same thing, our stats kind of, I don't have all the exact numbers, but they remain fairly similar. You know, we still do a lot of stolen vehicle recoveries. Every 2 or 3 days we find another car. Our DUI arrests continue to be steady. And we appreciate, I think I said this last time too, but we always appreciate when people call stuff in. In fact, today we had someone calling in a driver that was weaving all over the road, and they were impaired. So we appreciated that. So don't take that for granted. Like, hey, maybe I shouldn't do this. You know, maybe I don't need to call 911. You know, if you see someone weaving all over the road, call it in, please, because it helps us. You know, you guys help be our eyes out there for moving someone that's impaired and potentially going to kill someone down the road. So we appreciate that. Was kind of a good story from today. I don't know. We're getting 2 more transfers coming into our office. So we get 2 more throughout May 1st, and I believe July 1st is going to be the second one. So that's kind of exciting. Have a couple more officers on the road. We do have a newer car out there. He's actually been working a few months, but he's dedicated to like traffic complaints that the community calls in, and then also enforcing vehicle code violations that directly relate to crashes. So like speed, unsafe lane changes, stuff like that. So if you, again, kind of like an impaired driver, if you see someone driving recklessly or dangerous, you know, call it in, because that's his sole purpose, is out there to look for those vehicles. So trying to bump up some enforcement. And then on the education side of stuff, we're working closely with, especially in May, it's going to be very busy working with a lot of community groups, doing traffic safety presentations. We're working with both bases that are within our area, Edwards Air Force Base and Nas China Lake, to do traffic safety for them. So we're doing quite a bit, and we're involved a lot with some of the community affairs out here. So it's going to be a very busy next 4 or 5 weeks as far as education goes. And I want to touch again on the enforcement part. We actually used, through a grant from NHTSA and the California Office of Traffic Safety, as it works its way down all the way to us, we've boosted a lot of enforcement this month for stuff like DUI, speed, distracted driving, because April's National Distracted Driving Awareness Month. So we're focusing on all that stuff and violations that cause crashes, not just writing tickets, but trying to prevent people from, having a crash and hurting or killing someone. So that's where that's kind of where we're at right now.
Get back.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, who do we contact if we want to set up a presentation?
That's myself.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll leave a business card. I'll leave a business card with you.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just call the office or send me an email, and then we'll work on something on a future date.
I have a question. Is it, you're getting 2 more, CHP versus police? Right?
That's correct. Yes. Yeah, we'll have 2 more at our office in Mojave.
Got a question in the back?
Yeah, I saw, well, it's not for the sheriff, sir. I saw in the Roseman News that they could potentially be reopening the substation
We are.
in Roseman.
So I was gonna bring
Is
that.
that still,
We are currently looking for a temporary building right now. We've got a couple buildings next week that I'm gonna look with upper staff with, we're gonna go look at, for potential buildings for temporary. Obviously, we're looking for something safe where our clerk can stay in and where the guys can come and be down here. They're eventually going to separate back to substations, so it'll be Roseman will have their bodies, Tehachapi, and Mojave will have their bodies. I don't know how soon that will be, obviously, but it's in the works, because if not, they wouldn't be looking for a temporary building. And obviously, you guys know about the building we are building on 35th. That's the reason. They want to get established now, and then when that gets built, we'll just move over there.
How much space and for how long would you need the temporary structure?
The space isn't really the issue. The issue is for people to come in and get reports, talk to the clerk, talk to the deputies. That's what we need. We need almost like an office space where you walk into a desk where it's safe and they can speak to the clerk and get the reports instead of having to drive all the way to Mojave to get your report of your vandalism or whatever happened. You can come right to the temporary resident substation and get that information.
And there's gotta be space for the patrol vehicles.
Somewhere for the use of restrooms, safe for the vehicles, safe for the clerk, and obviously safe for the deputies as well, but that's the plan.
We have these two buildings right down there on Diamond that used to be our old library, and also I think your relative had one of them. They're both vacant. So, and there's parking right outside the back there.
Yeah, we have somebody looking for us right now, so, we're looking at a building on Diamond right now, next week, so.
And then Oscar, I was gonna let you know, any enforcement you guys can do? I mean, it's getting bad down Sierra Highway, with the road rage coming off the base, any major, saturations, we'd appreciate.
Absolutely, that's something I realized when I sat down I didn't touch on, is not only that, but traffic in general, because we have the construction project on the 14 that District 7 is doing. So it's LA County, but it still affects our area, right? So, like I said last time too, if I encourage people, check our Facebook, because if and when we're alerted to any traffic changes, we try to post those.
Yeah, you guys do a good job.
Yeah, and then we also are aware, I'm sure you've seen the construction on Roseman Boulevard, repaving project. We did have some extra officers down there, kind of running around when in between calls for service just to check on things. And the goal is the same thing too, because especially I believe next week we were told the on and off ramps are going to be closed for Roseman Boulevard. So we're going to try to get extra officers and people working down there. Maybe the county can speak more on that, all the details, but that's just what we were informed. So we're trying to get people down there to mitigate any potential traffic problems ahead of time, but again, that all depends on calls for service too, because we cover everything from here all the way out to Trona, and then up to Pearsonville. So, but that is the goal. We definitely keep that in mind, and we definitely hear the community asking about that. When I mentioned our special car, he comes down here from time to time too and works on that. So absolutely, thank you, sir.
All right, Carlo, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't know if this is the correct time or person to ask, but he brought up about the freeway construction. When the off-ramps are closed on Roseman Boulevard, is Avenue A on-ramp gonna be open?
No.
So we're gonna get into that, we have got a public purpose, so we'll be addressing that here in a little bit.
Okay.
Carlo from Assemblyman Lackey's office.
I guess you'll be hearing from our office.
Good evening, Carl DeSalle with Assemblyman, representing Assemblyman Tom Lackey out of our district, state district. I just wanted to give you a quick legislative report. The Assemblyman, they're looking at a lot of bills up in Sacramento, and this is their time when they're working them in the committees. The Assemblyman mostly has public safety as a highlight, as his main goal. And he has several bills. I think there's like 10 bills that he has. But, and if you have any questions, please call up our office to see what they are. I forgot my paperwork, I have to tell you. I am negligent. I opened up my booklet, I went, oh, I can't wing that. I don't even remember. I do remember something he really hated though. So that's part of the legislative report. There's this bill being proposed, AB 2200. It's going to go to committee on April the 23rd. Remember I told you everything's going into the first committees right now. And it's a universal, single payer, universal health care. And he opposes it because the cost is it's sky high. It's more than the annual budget for the state. So the annual budget for the state is less than 300,000. They're looking at 300 billion, and they're looking at single payer being like 500 billion.
Wow.
Yeah. If that's the proposal, he's dead set against it. And there's some other things about he's afraid that money's gonna be taken out of vet and senior programs to pay for this. And that's why he stands. But if you guys have any questions, please call our office at 661-267-7636. Or I have cards, you can email me with your concerns. But remember, make your voices heard. You can call us up, we will register your opinion. You could call up the Assembly, Assembly Healthcare Committee directly, and I got the phone number for that. But if this is if you're for it or against it, because some people are for it, please make your opinions known right away. All right?
Sounds good. Thank you, Colonel.
That's
Right,
yeah.
Karen.
He said we would hate it.
No, he said he hated it.
What?
He said, the assemblyman said he might hate it. He hates it the way it is right now. Yes.
So he's not in support of the measure at this point?
No. Yeah. And, the cost, it's the cost, and it's gonna be run as a government agency, which has all the charm of a DMV or an unemployment office. It's not what we're used to, and, he really doesn't like it because of that.
So basically, it's socialized medicine.
Yeah, sure sounds like it.
Hey, thank you.
Or it sounds close to it anyway, if it isn't. But thank you very much, guys. If you have any questions, please contact us, all right?
Karen.
Hi there, I'm Karen Sanders. I am the East Kern representative for District 2 Supervisor Scribner for Kern County. And there are many gears turning and lots of things happening right now. Two things that I can speak on this evening are the parks and the roads. So let's hear a big cheer for that. Yay!
Yay for the park.
Yay for the parks, yay for the roads. The Rosemont Skate Park, the bid opening was on April the 9th. Construction is expected to begin in June with a completion in December. There's a precast restroom that's being placed at Rosemont Park, and I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly which one it is. That's expected to take place in October. And the pool opening should be on or about around June 1st. They are hiring lifeguards and getting them trained. The lifeguard trainer is coming out of Fresno. A lot of the lifeguards are minors. They wanted to do the training in Bakersfield, but because of the fact that the lifeguards are minors, they're doing the training here in Rosemont, and the opening is expected around the first part of June. The pool is expected to be open Thursday through Sunday, and this summer it will be free to the public. There's a lot of hiring and training that has to take place before they can actually have, a paid admission. Roads, I hear a lot about the roads almost on a daily basis. I know that it's frustrating. I know that there are things that need to be done. We're doing the best that we can. At least I'm doing the best that I can. Alex is here from the Public Works Department, and he'll have a time to take questions and, do what he can to answer your questions for what's going on. If you have a specific road or area that you'd like to have answers for, I do have the latest report. The supervisor's office is on a phone call with the roads department every month, and we just had that meeting on Wednesday, so I have a freshly printed copy in hand and can help answer questions that you might have about that. So other than that, summer's coming up. Yes, sir.
Is the county taking over all of the parks in town?
No, the county's not taking over all the parks in town. The parks that the county already has are the ones that are being worked on. I understand there's at least one park that belongs to the school district. I don't remember the name. Is it United Park? United Park. I learned last month that that is not a county park. It belongs to the school district. So whatever happens with that, whatever maintenance needs to be done with that.
But the older one on Lindauer is county?
Lindauer Park, I believe, is a county park.
It's a county park.
And West Park with the swamp?
West Park, I believe, is also a county park.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Okay, well, I have a list of roads if you wanna talk to me about that after the meeting's over, and I'm happy to answer questions for you.
All right.
Thank you.
Jack Chamber. There he is. I saw you.
Jack Miller, Roseland Chamber of Commerce, Vice President. We had our monthly meeting today. We had a wonderful guest. We had Mark Olson from Pacific Steel. It's a new factory that's going up, and it's one of the first reclamation steel projects in 50 years. And we're gonna be hiring a lot of people. I can't remember the number, it was like 500? Yeah, about 500. So that was pretty exciting to have him as a guest and explain the whole process. It's all green energy, it's all electric, no gas, so it's quite exciting. As far as the chamber, we have event staff now, and we're coordinating several events for the year. We got one coming up for Customer Appreciation Day, May 4th. May 18th, we have a flea market at the event center of the chamber on Diamond Street. And then we have several other events coming up throughout the year. We were planning on a street closure. I still don't know where we're at on that. I know I talked to Aaron on that. And apparently, if it's a parade, we can go through the sheriff's. But if it's a street closure, it's basically county roads, and then it has to get bought off by CHP at that point.
So we'll just have a small parade that every
I
day.
was just gonna say, I'll walk down with you.
Well, you still gotta close the street though, so you got two entities there, the parade and the street closure, so that's two things actually. So we're trying to get the process ironed out. Once we do, I'm gonna probably do a webpage on the chamber site just so that it's easy for the people to know what the process is, because you know, we did have some people pass away, so a lot of the responsibilities, procedures that we were used to in the past, either people don't know or they're going back to the existing procedures that were there before them. Because back then, a lot of people was just helping us out, but now we got to get back to what the actual procedure is for these community events and stuff like that. So. Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Aaron. I know they've been a big help on. Yes?
When was the day that you wanted to close off the road?
May 4th. And I just got back from a cruise. Gene just got back from a cruise. So I really don't know the current status on that, but there was a scheduled street closure for May 4th from Center to Poplar on Diamond Street.
We just get some barriers and put County Public Works on it, right? It's official.
We're blaming you. The big guy came to the meeting, gave us permission, we walked off the road.
Okay, we also have chamber elections coming up at our next luncheon. And Gene Melchers, Eric Landsgaard are up for election. So we'll be voting them in. We haven't had any new nominees come in yet. So as it stands, it's Gene and Eric currently. And then finally, I gotta apologize. I did make your name tag, your name plaques, but I made a mistake in the G code, and it went all the way through, and I ran out of plaques, so I gotta write some
I
more
appreciate you doing it for me.
That's it. Anybody have any questions?
How many members are on the Chamber of Commerce?
I don't know right at the moment, to be honest with you. I'd have to run a report on that. I don't have those numbers with me. I don't carry them with me. Yes, sir.
Could you give a quick definition of what's a transformation project?
I don't remember saying it, no.
I thought you said this thing you're working on with the steel is a transformation project,
Reclamation
or
project.
reclamation.
Yeah, I'm sorry, reclamation. I said transformation, I don't think I did, sorry. Anybody?
Good, I appreciate that.
All right.
All right. Water, nobody from RCSD, Barbara had meetings today. No Antelope Valley citizens respond to water. All right, our first guest speaker, Jim Damian, Green County Economic Officer. Appreciate you coming down, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good to meet y'all. Some of you I know, some of you are new faces, new friends. I'm Jim Damian. I'm the County of Kern's Chief Economic Development Officer. I spend a lot of time working with various departments. Karen and I spend a lot of time together. My job basically is a new job. A few months ago, I was in the private sector. We just sold a company, and a guy named Ryan Alsop, who used to work here. My first day was his last day, so I don't know if I should take that personally or not, but anyway, he moved on. But before he left, he hired me and asked me to come in and be your Chief Economic Development Officer. And so what I do is I spend all of my time thinking about how we can make sure that all parts of Kern County are great places to do business. So we want to make sure that the county government is doing everything we can to make this the best place in the state to start or grow a business. So what are we doing? I'll just throw out a couple things. Mostly what we try and tell our friends in the government is private sector knows what they're doing. Try and stay out of the way. They'll be okay. So we do try and do that. Second to that, we're working on a permitting modernization process. In fact, with Alex and some of the folks in Public Works, we're looking at taking the permit processes that we have that are good and aren't broken, we're looking at making them even better. So we're trying to be proactive, so when somebody wants to build something or do a land use project in Kern County, in unincorporated Kern County, it's a little bit easier. So we're working on that. We're building a tool that hopefully some of you will use to give you some key data on how the economy is doing. Things like Kern County unemployment rate, median home prices, number of businesses started by sector in the county. These are things that maybe, especially at the chamber, might be interesting for you to see. So that's a service we'll provide out of my office. And finally, I'll just mention, we're also investing in a tool as you start to, have more community events, you open the pool. We will be publishing, and we need to kind of work through the details with you all in the community, how many visitors are coming in. Because right now, if you have an event, you might be able to do a head count or have people sign, and you can see how many people came in. But we think it's really important to see who comes from the surrounding communities. Do they stop and eat on the way home? Because then you go, well, that event, that street fair, that festival drove traffic and it was well attended. And then we see that, they use anonymous cell phone data to figure out where people are coming from and where they stop. So pretty cool tool that we'll be launching later this year. So that's me. I have cards, I'm here, and I just appreciate the chance to introduce myself and look forward to partnering with you on projects that relate to us being the best place in the state to start and grow a business.
Jim, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
We have Diamond Street. The county put a lot of money into refurbishing Diamond Street. Sheriff's done a fantastic job of running out some of the pot shops over there, but now we have empty buildings, an empty restaurant. Is there any way we could maybe get an economic zone or some incentives to lure businesses onto legitimate businesses onto Diamond Street?
That's a great idea. One of the things we look at all the time is how we can use either existing money or grants to do that kind of thing. So yes, we haven't talked about that yet, but it sounds like a great project. So yeah, I'd love to connect with you or whoever the right person is offline to figure out how we can do that, because we want buildings full, we want commerce, we want jobs. So yeah, how do we incentivize that? And that's the key. We're applying for grants all the time. The state and federal, they still have some money, and we want to see it come to Kern to kind of get things going, and then they'll be self-sustaining. So that's a great idea. Yeah, let's do that.
Same with the old Rite Aid building.
Yeah.
That's empty, right?
It's been empty for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't even know how long it's been empty this way.
Yeah.
Like 15 years.
We do have some programs, especially one of the things that Kern County has approved through the Board of Supervisors a couple years ago is an incentive program called Advanced Kern. So if we have an idea on either manufacturer, or really it could be anything, it could be retail, it could be any kind of business, if we could find somebody who's close to being able to make it pencil out, but they need a little bit of help, we do have funds for that.
Yeah.
So we just need to come up with a plan and talk through what that might look like, because yeah, the county has money available to help people get going. So we can do that like pretty much now. If we know of somebody that wants to expand or enter, we have payroll support for the first 6 months, and then we also have rebates on property taxes. So we have a couple different levels just to get people going. And you might know unemployment rate in Kern County is almost 10%. So we have to really look at how we're enabling investors and entrepreneurs to drive their businesses here. And I'm a Kern County native. I'm from Tehachapi. Don't hold it against me, but that's my home. So when we talk about Eastern Kern and what's important, I get it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for having me, guys.
All right. Alex, the man of the hour.
Hi everybody, I'm Alex Brilliant. I'm the engineering manager over road maintenance for Kern County Public Works. I don't have too much prepared for you guys, other than letting you guys know, I don't know if anybody from Caltrans is here.
No.
Okay, so I can't talk about the project on State Route 14 because I don't know too much about it. All I know is it's very much affecting us on Avenue A. We've actually had to close the road down just because everybody was diverted or choosing to use Avenue A to get to Sarah Highway, to get down to Lancaster and all those routes. So we closed Avenue A from, I believe, 20th Street over to Sierra Highway, and also closed up some of the local roads to through traffic to avoid your semi trucks from taking those routes. So ideally, if you live near those areas, you can still access them. If not, let me know and we can figure out our signs there. Obviously, we also have the Roseman Boulevard construction project. That's not my department, but I am familiar with it. Not sure if anyone's been informed about it yet, but I believe that they will begin night work starting on Monday. That should go for, I believe, the duration of the project. And I also want to say the project should be wrapped up before middle of June, if not sooner than that. So ideally, we should stop affecting Edwards Air Force Base on that.
Nice.
Any other projects going on?
The question with Avenue A, when they close off the boulevard,
Yes.
having Avenue A closed for the locals is a major, major inconvenience. I mean, because you got to go all the way to the west side, like 60th Street and back up and around.
So I'm aware of the portion that's closed from 20th to Sierra Highway.
Right.
That part, we've been trying to patch it. Our crews have been.
It's undrivable.
I would,
decayed.
I would agree with you on that completely. We're actually trying to work with Caltrans and their contractor off of State Route 14 for them to get what we call our encroachment permits. That way Caltrans would be essentially responsible for that portion. But I don't actually have an update for you. We have started those conversations with Caltrans and their contractor, but I don't have any timeline for that to be repaired.
Now, going the opposite way, your guys do a fantastic job.
Appreciate that.
When we call them out,
Yeah.
they're filling bottles, but it's only lasting a day or two. Is there a more of a permanent fix? I came down from 65th down Avenue A, and it's already destroyed that way with big old pot. And you guys just filled them. Is there a better patching system or better?
As of right now, because we're in this kind of springtime, just getting out of the winter, we don't have any oil. But as the summer comes, we will have more oil to actually use to, how would I say it, reinforce those potholes or reinforce those patches so they're more drivable. I don't have any kind of timeline for anyone here to let you know when we're going to get to Avenue A. It is very much on our list of projects to get to. But as you can see, Roseman Boulevard having, I'm not sure how many cars a day. I want to say it was up in the tens of thousands of vehicles a day. That one kind of took a higher priority over Avenue A.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Absolutely.
I know I'm not trying to sound super crunchy, but my office is right there on that corner next to Taco Bell, and this news today, quite a few of us are like, is it safe? Are we okay? Like, because we're right there. I mean, like, our air is on and we're just like.
I don't want to tell you that it's safe or not safe. I honestly, I couldn't tell you that confidently. I can tell you that there are paving crews, there are staff that are all on those paving machines.
Yeah.
All day long.
I
All
was just
year
thinking, should
long.
we be wearing, because I saw quite a few of them wearing stuff, and I'm like, should I be wearing something?
I'd be cautious if I were you.
Yeah, because it's.
I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, or I wouldn't persuade you not to, but again, I leave that up more up to you. Again, I've been behind a paper before, and I am very familiar with the fumes that you're talking about.
Now, Alex, with the state District 7 doing all that work, it's causing like you say, causing our roads. Is there any way we could go after the state for some money to?
That's what we're trying to do.
Trying to
right
do,
now,
okay.
Because what's going to end up happening with all the closures that are happening on State Route 14 going south, more people are going to try to detour through our county and our roads.
Yeah. Even
So-
60th, 90th, I heard all the way out to 170th is getting destroyed out there from all
Yes,
the
it's
big
pretty
rigs.
bad.
Yeah.
You did mention 170th. I will tell you, we are very aware of all the water that's crossing Roseman Boulevard between 165th Street and 170th Street. Last I've heard or understood, that's not the Department of Water and Power, or LA's Department of Water and Power. We're actually pretty sure it's a spring somewhere up in the mountains that is completely just draining. I don't have much more information other than just be careful along Roseman Boulevard when you're going west. We are in the process of putting more signs out there. I'm not telling you that it's not traversable, nor is it traversable, but just be safe when you're in that portion of Roseman Boulevard.
No, like I said, I just want to reiterate, your guys do a great job. We call, we put something on Facebook, you know, the next day or even before the day's over, they're getting filled. It's just, like I said, it's just not lasting.
Yeah. No, we're aware of that. I know that we have other projects in the works for all other portions of Rosemont, but I'm glad to know about the pool. That's actually quite exciting. But yeah, is there any questions I could really answer for anybody?
I do. So there seems to be some confusion about the digital sign posted before you exit off of Rosemont Boulevard going north. A lot of residents think that the ramp is gonna be, or the exit's gonna be closed just for those 2 dates posted. Can you clarify? Because when I read it, I understand it from 421 to 5/3, it'll be closed completely. But am I
At that part, I'm not too sure, but we can end up finding out
Anybody else
for
know?
everyone on that.
If I can speak on that real quick.
Thank you.
We spoke to someone else from with Kern County Public Works and then with the superintendent for the contractor out there too. And what he told us is they have a permit through Caltrans to have the on and off ramps closed that entire 2 weeks.
Okay, that's what I understood. But
That's
if
how
it's
And
so
our
many-
tech department sent out an email and they're getting their information directly from wherever they need to, but they sent it out to our entire staff saying that it's closed from the 21st.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what I understood, but there's so many residents that think it's just gonna be 24 hours for those
No.
2 days. But
And
thank you for clarifying.
The goal is to, if I could speak,
I know.
Yeah.
from what our information, we're in talks with them, the goal is to have it done much quicker than that.
Okay.
But stuff happens, so you have to plan for that, plan longer, so if everything goes smoothly, I don't wanna speak for Kern County, okay, this is, make that clear.
On this scenario.
Yeah, best scenario, and our hope is that they're able to finish up quicker,
Got it.
so, and then hopefully that helps everybody in the community, but we also, you mentioned the deteriorated road out in Roseman,
Yes.
and driving safely. Wherever you drive, make sure we're driving safely, whether they're doing this construction or not, we wanna make sure people are slowing down and using caution, whenever these guys are out there working, we gotta slow down, move over if we can, and make sure we're being really careful around these crews, cause they're out there trying to, improve our roads and help us out, so
What about
it's our job to be responsible behind the wheel when we're around them.
What about Sierra Highway? Today I drove to Lancaster and back. It's insane how one car wants to pass 20 other cars in the opposite lane and put everybody at risk, including themselves. It's like nobody's thinking about getting to their destination alive.
Yeah, and that's something we see everywhere, I'm sorry.
But are you gonna increase like the patrol?
We do, we send units down there, somebody's down there every day, but we can't be down there 24/7.
But
They
during-
drive down there, they drive up. and
During the
then
day, at
they
least
go.
the busiest hours, because
Something
it's.
is crazy.
Yeah, our guys do go down there, like I said, they'll drive down Sierra Highway, come up to 14, go down, Bacchus, up TWS, make their way around and make stops, but, because our area is so vast and our resources are, I don't wanna say limited, but they're the same, they don't change, they're static. So we can't have someone on Sierra Highway, 24/7 or even every day at rush hour.
No, I understand that.
But they do drive them down there. I see the tickets come through the office, and they write tickets there every single day. Sierra Highway 14, all our back roads they get around. They spend extra time when you guys are out there working or when Caltrans is working. Trying to slow people down, but unfortunately, the second we leave, everybody's doing what you just described, and we start getting phone calls again, and it's just a matter of changing culture and changing people's attitudes towards driving, that we need to be responsible, and like you said, they don't care if they get there alive, but it's not always you're hurting, it could be someone else, and not a lot of people think about that anymore. So, and I'm sorry, I totally hijacked. I just wanted to provide a little information, so.
The lady in the blue, right? You can talk.
I have a question. So when, the on and off ramps for Roseman Boulevard are closed, the only way to the base is going to be Avenue A up 20th? Because they're not gonna be allowed to go to A? I live off of Phlox. That's a lot of traffic on my street now, off of 20th.
My eyes got big when we said that was a 2-week closure. Something's gonna have to get done.
Is there any way to open back Avenue A to Sierra Highway during that 2-week time?
I wouldn't open it.
Yeah,
It's bad.
can't be open.
Yeah, it's the road, part of the road's
It's
missing.
dirt road now, it's that bad.
On what?
And Avenue
On
A, from 20th to Sierra Highway right there in Avenue A.
Several of those
Big
side
sections of the
streets
road
are
missing.
awful. People
It's
are,
all dirt.
that's why they put up barriers so people going down there. It's crazy.
And, you know, growing up here, I know the back roads like the back of my hand. I drive them at night. When you're driving the back roads, don't assume, they put a lot of 4-way stops now. Don't assume that person's gonna stop. Be defensive. In fact, act like they're not gonna stop until you can guarantee. There's so many accidents out there, Avenue D and 60th Street and those back roads at night. You get a lot of DUIs, a lot of people trying to avoid the freeways and stuff like that. Think they can avoid CHP officers by taking those back roads home. So a lot of accidents out there. So this, like I said, during this time, be careful driving those, especially when it's dark. There's no lights out there. Be safe.
You talked about Avenue A being blocked off, but it appears that Patterson and Marie Street are also blocked off. Is that for the same reason?
That's
very much so.
Preventative, yeah, right?
Yes, it's very much a preventative measure for us because those roads are nowhere near designed to take any kind of truck traffic. So if we were to open them up, the same issue on Avenue A would happen on Marie and
And in your plan, how would, say, a semi-truck that's gonna service Alderson, how are they supposed to get there?
So realistically, then that comes back to Caltrans and their project. That's how we would tell them to get an encroachment permit.
Well,
So-
those roads aren't Caltrans.
No, of course not, but what's going on is because of Caltrans closures on the off-ramps, they have to detour now their traffic onto county roads. So by us making them get an encroachment permit, we can go after Caltrans and say, hey, this is the condition of the road, you either have to improve it or bring it back to what it was. So if you start detouring all of State Route 14 onto Sierra Highway, or worse, from Roseman Boulevard to 60th down to Avenue A, all of those roads are gonna be in real dire condition after that happens. And that's why we wanna hold Caltrans and their contractor responsible. And so once it starts falling apart, we'll tell them, hey, you guys need to go in there and repair these.
And from Avenue A to Avenue H, is that Caltrans?
That'd be through Caltrans, that's all in County of LA, and yeah, I believe it's those two. I think.
It looks like that's where they're planning on detouring people. So from my house, if I wanna get on the freeway going south, I have to drive to Avenue D and then get on at Avenue D.
I believe so.
I mean, when Rosen Boulevard is closed, it looks like that's what, they're planning to use that as a primary path.
I don't think you can.
You can get them.
Yes.
No, it's amazing. I was going down 20th, like I said, 60th Street. Just that additional traffic on there, you can already tell the difference in the deterioration of the roads. All right, any other questions for Alex?
Well, just one other thing, as far as you know, the exit at Avenue A will stay open?
No, they're closed. They're closed.
The northbound?
At the Avenue A off-ramp is going to stay open.
That's- yeah.
It's the Roseman Boulevard ones that are gonna be
Oh,
affected.
I thought 8 was closed right now.
Northbound.
Northbound, okay, northbound.
I'm sorry, northbound Avenue A, and our office did check with Caltrans
Okay.
District 7 again, LA County, okay? They said that the Avenue A off-ramp from northbound will stay open. So they have no plans to change any of that, especially with all the project going.
And next year, the other side's gonna close.
Yeah, 2025, everything will swap. But that's a District 7, LA County, Caltrans project. That has nothing to do with the Caltrans up here. That's all District 7.
And we requested, the information from District 7, their press releases as well as their tech sheets. And he failed to get them to us in time, but we'll post them publicly when we get them as well.
And also to let you know, I had a meeting in Monrovia last night, so I was coming back, and coming through Palmdale, it's just as bad. So if you're going over the hill, allow yourself at least an hour additional coming home. It took forever, and like I said, the road rage, people cutting each other off, and it's a mess from when you come over the hill from the valley into Palmdale all the way to Roseman now. So it's we're gonna have to allow some extra time. Alex, thank you very much for.
Of course.
All right. All right, everybody had a chance to look at the minutes?
Mhm.
Any changes? Can I get a motion to approve as is?
I move that we approve the minutes.
Can I get a second? All right. All in favor?
Yeah.
All right. Approved. And then finally, old business, board elections. Well, we start from the secretary and work our way up. Do I have any nominating?
I nominate you.
We have a nomination for Kelly. Any other nominations? Do I have a second?
You seconding Joel?
Huh?
You seconding you, Joel?
A second for secretary?
Oh, okay.
For Kelly? For me? All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
All right. For vice chair, any nominations?
I'd really like to run with Fallon again, if she'd be okay with that. I think it just, and I'm working on a couple projects with her that we're gonna talk about with Karen Literacy Alliance. So.
I second.
Yeah, that's already moving, which I'll talk to you about, but I will accept the nomination.
Do I have a second for Fallon?
Second.
All right. All in favor? All in favor? Aye?
Vice chair.
Vice chair.
All right. All right. Any nominations for chair?
I would like to, yeah, I'll second Joel.
No. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we have our board for next month, and we've got a lot of things going on, and I wanted to talk to you about some dual projects that you're working on that you could do, but we got the parks coming up, the skate park, want to make sure the pool gets open. We got to have if somebody could kind of touch base with the county and keep up with, keep them on their toes about making sure we get that. Pool's gonna be free for one more year, so, there will be no charge to.
Open date?
Huh?
The open date was June 1st.
That's the target still?
It's a target date.
I'm excited.
With everybody, just to put it out there. So I do work for Southern Kern Unified School District, and we do have a parent and community center. I just want to make sure everybody knows that it's parent and community center, so it is open to the public. Right now, we're only open 3 days, but we did just repost and fly the position for a person to be in there full time. We have different resources. I've partnered with a lot of different agencies in the area. So any resources that people are looking for, whether it's where the food pantries are, clothing closets. Right now we just did a prom dress drive for our girls. We're looking into doing just formal wear and interview wear for adults. Coming up this year, we're going to be having classes that are going to be open not just to our families for SKUSD, but to the community on all different things from mental health to resume writing. There's going to be a lot coming, so I just wanted to let you know that. And then thanks Kelly, he partnered me with the Kern Literacy Council. We're actually or Alliance, sorry, Kern Literacy Alliance, and they are going to be bringing out. We're going to do a big literacy day at the beginning of the school year, where I'm just waiting on Senator Grove's office to get back to me. She's going to come out, and it will not only just be again for the families, it'll be for the entire community.
Are we allowed to say? I mean, it's the Dolly Parton Imagination
Library. Yeah.
So we're partnering with the Dolly Parton Imagination Library to bring books and literacy to all of Roseland's youth. So we're really excited.
It's going to be great, and I'm trying to get the library on board, which is not.
Carla, maybe we can.
They're great.
It'd be awesome.
I wrote it down.
Thank you.
Around beginning of August?
Yeah.
Yes, and then Carla, reach out to me because we were in the process of planning a coffee with Assemblyman Lackey. I cannot talk today. I'm sorry, guys. So I'm looking forward to that, and I just want to touch on one more thing. And again, if you want any other information on the Parent Community Center, reach out to me. I'm at the school district Monday through Friday. I'm at the Parent Center 3 days a week, and then yes.
How is it financed?
We have what's called the Community Schools Grant right now. It is to make all schools community schools. It's a movement in California. But I'll be totally honest with you, the grant money that we have, we've barely used because most of the resources we're bringing in are all through Kern County or different agencies that are grant funded, so they're free to the community. Dolly Parton Imagination Library, free.
Right, got it.
But nothing's free to the community. Ultimately, where does the grant money come from?
From the state, from education funds.
Dolly Parton.
Okay.
And Dolly Parton is separate.
But as far as I know, my taxes on my house support the education here in Roseland.
Yes.
So is that, Are you getting that money? Part of
Yes,
that money?
we are reclaiming the money that's already been taken from you to get back into your community.
But
So we're
all-
not advocating for more taxes, we are
No,
advocating
no.
for, to get your money back into the community the best of our ability. And this is one of the ways that we've decided works the easiest.
And the community schools grant, I cannot speak to exactly where, that's more a financial question, I don't work in the financial department, but I know different school funding comes from different things.
The reason I asked the question is that my tax on my house over the years it's almost 5 or 6 times what it used to be.
Yeah.
We're all
And now that I'm retired, I'm on a fixed income, and it just kind of bothers me when somebody says it's free. I mean, it's not, if somebody's paying.
Or donating. Like
Yeah.
they said, they're receiving.
What I mean by free is any event or something that we're putting on, I'm not going to be charging people to come in. But if you have questions, honestly, on anything to do with the budget, our CBO does a report, pretty much every school, board meeting, and they're very informational, and those meetings are open to the public too, and they talk about exactly where the money is coming from and how it's being spent and what your tax dollars are going to.
And where is this facility?
That is at most of the time, it's posted, but they're at the school board office right across from, or at the school district office right across from Taco Bell. And they are usually every other Wednesday, but they're all posted on our website, on the SKUSD website.
First and third Wednesday.
Usually. Yeah, but sometimes if there's a special meeting or a holiday, sometimes they get moved. But that being said, I wanted to kind of piggyback off CHP and everybody talking. I know we're talking a lot about the construction, but I will tell you, being the person who's the link between the school district and the community, there's a lot of parents and community members driving irresponsibly near the schools. So I just want to put it out there to please, when you're driving by a school, just be very cautious. That's the first thing. Second thing, when the buses stop and they have that stop sign out, do not pass that bus. Do not go if that stop sign is out. And then just courtesy wise, please be respectful. And when the stop sign is coming in, please don't zoom around the bus. Give them time to take off. Our bus drivers are very safe and they're trying to transport all the students to school.
Can I add to that?
Yes.
By the high school and by the elementary school, it says absolutely no parking all the way down. Guess what's all there all the time?
Parking.
Parking. I think you're gonna get one or two tickets.
If only we had somebody we
I'm
could call for
serious,
that.
it's all the way down. It's like elementary, you can't even get around that, Glendale at all. And then the high school has a real good, a way to get rid of that is go off to where the high school, field is, around the corner. Those kids can walk over there, but it's always crowded. Absolutely no parking and no tickets.
Actually, everything that I was gonna say, Fallon kind of stole my thunder. We are looking to bring whatever resources we can. I mean, and there's a lot of great sacrifice to our families and such that we do that. So we do appreciate you guys for trusting us to do this too. So that's it.
I heard nothing.
It's going to be open in the summer, and just to reiterate, and I feel bad for saying free, but what we're trying to do is give back. I live here, I grew up here, I own a house here, I pay property taxes too. We want to give back to the community, and remember all these education dollars too, all the stuff that we're putting into our kids. We're bringing in all new mental health supports, we're bringing in all sorts of programs for our students. We have 12 CTE pathways to train, our students to go out and be successful community members. So we're doing everything we can to make sure that they're set up for success. So I understand it's frustrating when those taxes go up, but we're working hard to make sure that the benefit outweighs the taxes.
So I just wanted to reemphasize, we've been posting some stuff. We're trying to get a financial institution. We've been talking with Alta One Credit Union and getting the health clinic here. We have the cooling systems here. All these things we're bringing in, if we don't use them, we're going to lose them. So, I've talked to the seniors about coming over and hanging out so we can get some numbers for the cooling centers, so we can maybe get we tried to get the temperature lowered last year, and we were told by the county that we had 0 attendance. So why do we need to lower the temperature if nobody's using it? And then with the credit union, I'm hearing, well, I got a bank, I got this, I got that. But if we want it in our community, we're getting a health clinic. if we don't use this stuff, we're gonna lose it. So we gotta support our local businesses, and whether you have a bank in Lancaster or something like that, if we're able to get a credit union, if you open up a Christmas fund or something like that, it's got to make, when we had our meeting with, and Fran was there, when we had our meeting with their management, they said it's got to make business sense for us to come to the community. And I've been talking to all the businesses in town, and they're supportive of it, but we need, as a community, I'm not saying move all your banking to them, but maybe open up a Christmas fund or a savings account or something like that, so we can support some of these things, so we can get more things. And once we get the sheriff's station built, I think that's going to help attract more businesses here in town. We get a bank here, and that's probably going to help attract. Because I hear from the businesses that are cash businesses and stuff like that, they have to take all their money to Lancaster. There's no place local to go. So we got to support. We're doing our best. We're trying to bring these services to Roseman in our community. But if we don't use them, we're going to lose them.
What service or business did you say to support that would help be a bank?
The bank, yeah, all the businesses I've talked to are very supportive of moving accounts and supporting a financial institution that if we can get one here in Roseman.
But there's not one.
We don't have a bank. And Mojave lost their bank too. So there is in East Kern, the closest bank is either Lancaster or Tehachapi. So, like I said, getting a sheriff's station, getting a financial institution, that's going to help us grow and attract more businesses here in town. So that is all I have. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I motion that we adjourn.
Do I have a second?
A second.
All right, we are adjourned.